Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel, RV Tips from Jan. Thank you for joining us today. Our topic, RV roof maintenance do's and don'ts to maintain your RV roof warranty. We've done a lot of research on this subject by watching many videos on YouTube as well as going to the various websites to read about the different types of materials that are used on recreational vehicle trailers. There are 3 different types of roofing materials that are used. And the one thing that we have learned is this is nothing like the automobile industry. It's a unique product, distinctively designed for our recreational vehicle trailers. And as such, it has some rather unique requirements in terms of what we need to be doing to maintain the integrity of our roof. So let's get into that as we look through this video together. The number one reason to be doing regular roof maintenance is to keep from voiding our RV roof warranty. Another reason to do this kind of maintenance is to avoid having to prematurely replace your RV roof. This can cost anywhere from $300 to $350 per linear foot. That translates to about $10,000 to replace a 30-foot roof on a 30-foot trailer. That's a big unexpected expense that none of us wants to have to incur. Under the do's, when we talk about things that we can be doing to protect that roof, one of the easiest things that we can do, and one of the things that a lot of us don't do, is cover our RV during the off-season if we keep it outside storage. This does a couple of things. It protects it from ultraviolet sun ray damage, and it also protects it from the elements of the weather. Stop and think of it this way. If you have your trailer in storage 6 months a year, you can essentially double the life of that roof by covering that trailer for those 6 months versus leaving it outdoors exposed to the sun, ultraviolet rays, as well as to the weather elements 12 months out of the year. We should be aware of the type of RV roofing material that was used by the manufacturer, whether it's EPDM, TPO, or PVC. These are all chemically based products specifically designed for the RV industry. I'm not going to give you the chemical names because that really doesn't matter. What does matter is that there's 3 different types of materials. Each has its own pros and cons. The good news is the products that I'm going to share with you in this video are compatible and may be used with each of these 3 types of roofing materials. Inspecting the RV sealants quarterly. Keep in mind that cracks, pinholes can develop in those sealants around the roof vents, the air conditioner, the antenna, the outside cap. And if we do not inspect and maintain those, we can develop leaks, and it can be weeks before they actually show up on the inside of our RV. By then, they've done damage to the integrity of the roof, as well as the outside structure. By the time we see the visible damage in the RV, we could be looking at thousands of dollars of damage from leaks around those sealants. So it's important that we inspect, repair, and replace those on a regular basis. The type of sealant that we're recommending here is from a very manufacturer that supplies most of the roofing materials to the RV industry, and that's Dicor. In fact, you can go to their website, and Dicor has a dedicated portion of their website to the recreational vehicle industry that gives us suggestions on what products that we could be using, the kind of maintenance that we should be doing, as well as explaining the different types of materials that are used by the manufacturers for the roofs of our RV trailers. The product on the left is a self-leveling lap sealant. This would be used around the vents, the air conditioner, and the antenna. The product on the right makes a bead. It's not self-leveling. It's called non-sag. sealant, and it would be used around the outside edge of your roofing material. And again, directions are clearly printed on the product as well as on Dycor's website. At a minimum, once a season, we should be cleaning our roof with an approved rubber roof cleaner. In this case, we're recommending Dycor, again, because they're the manufacturer of these materials. Dycor has some specific recommendations in terms of how you should be cleaning your roof. These you can find both in videos as well as on their website. The product that we're recommending for cleaning is the Dycor Rubber Roof Cleaner. Admittedly, this is somewhat expensive. I think it's about $50 for the product on the right. It does get diluted. And as I've done my research on this topic, I'm seeing a number of videos out there by very seasoned RVers who we highly regard and respect, who are saying things like, well, this is so expensive. Instead, I used another product that I would use on my automobile to clean my roof. The product that you are using for your automobile is not compatible and should not be used on your RV trailer roof. And we'll talk about that more in just a minute. After cleaning, it's highly recommended that you put on the ultraviolet roof guard treatment from Dycor. This will protect the roof from ultraviolet rays and ultraviolet deterioration, which is the #1 cause of RV roof failures. The product that we're recommending is, again, from Dycor. It is somewhat expensive. You'll notice here that in the picture, he's using a soft sponge to apply that roof guard. And one of the things that you'll see in the instructions, whether it's the cleaning materials or the ultraviolet protectant that you apply, it is emphasized, do not use stiff bristle brushes or do not apply a lot of pressure, because that's a rubber membrane that can either be separated from the underneath support laminate or can be damaged by using bristle brushes, stiff bristle brushes. Now, in terms of the don'ts, we're going to talk about a subject here that there's a lot of controversy on the internet about and tends to run against our common sense thinking in terms of how we should be maintaining our RV roofs. But the manufacturers of our RV trailers and the dealers do not recommend that we get up on the roof and remove the snow in the wintertime. And there's 2 reasons for this. One, by getting up on the roof, because it's very cold, we can cause flexing of that roof, which can actually do more damage than good in terms of the integrity of the roof material itself. 2, that flexing when we're walking on that roof in very cold temperatures can cause the sealants to crack and expose that to potential water damage. There's a great video I recommend that you look for on YouTube by a dealer in Maine from 2017, where he is out in his lot in the middle of winter and he's saying, hey, I have 36 inches of snow on the top of all my trailers here that I'm going to be selling in the spring. I've reached out to the manufacturers to ask them, do I need to send a crew up on these roofs to remove that snow? And they all said the same thing. We don't remove it on the trailers here. They're out in our lots in Indiana. You should not be removing it from the trailers there that you have on your dealer's lot. And it's for the reasons that I've detailed below. This tends to run against our common sense, but this is what the manufacturers are suggesting. In terms of the don'ts, and I talked about this a little earlier, don't use a stiff bristle brush, but instead use a soft bristle brush when you're cleaning your RV roof. Number 2, don't use mineral spirits or any type of petroleum-based products, including Goop Be Gone, or anything similar that's petroleum-based. And don't use citrus-based products as cleaners. These products can permanently damage that rubber membrane, both by degrading the integrity of the membrane itself or causing the membrane to separate from the underlayment that supports it. There's a couple great videos on YouTube of seasoned, highly regarded, well-respected RVers who are talking about cleaning their roof, and they have things like sap and tar, and they're struggling with how to get that off. And it's tempting to take some mineral spirits, put it on a rag, and try to wipe that off the roof. The manufacturers of our RV roofs are saying, do not do that. Any application of a petroleum-based product will cause that part of the roof that it is applied to deteriorate and degrade. It will lead to separation of our roof from the underlayment and eventually water damage. As tempting as it is to try to use those type of chemicals to remove the tar and sap, we just can't do that. We need to use the recommended cleaners. We need to be careful that we're using a soft brush or sponge. And in the final analysis, it's a roof. If there's some spots up there you don't get off, it's not the end of the world. It's better to leave them there versus create a problem in the integrity of the rubber roofing material by using the wrong technique or applying too much pressure as you're trying to clean that off. Number 3, don't use wash and wax products designed for automobiles. We talked about this a little earlier. If you use a wash and wax product and then you try to protect your roof with the ultraviolet protected treatment, that UV treatment will not stick or stay on the roof. You need to use the recommended cleaners, and in this case, we're recommending Dicor, to clean that roof, and then the recommended UV treatment chemical to treat that roof. Question that also comes up is, can I use a pressure washer to clean the roof of my RV? And the answer is yes, but you need to use caution. This is a rubber membrane. We got to be careful that we keep the wand on a wide setting and low pressure. If you do that, you should be fine. There's a couple videos on YouTube that specifically talk about that and show the technique that can be done to use your pressure washer. Don't get it too close, and be sure that you use a wide spray, low pressure. Finally, to close up the presentation, when in doubt, if we're not comfortable getting up on the RV roof, let's do the smart thing. Let's pay a professional to have the roof cleaned and all sealants inspected and repaired annually before we cover our RV for the winter months. It's still something that I know is going to cost us a few bucks if we have to go through the dealer, but stop and think of it as your insurance protection to make sure that you're in compliance with your warranty and that you're doing the right things to extend the useful life of your recreational vehicle roof. You've got a lot invested in your RV trailer, and taking good care of that roof by doing the recommended maintenance on an annual basis will make sure that that roof lasts the 20 years it was designed to be in place. Well, I thank you for joining us today. I hope you found this video to be helpful. If you did, please check that subscription box. If you have questions, please drop those off to me and I'll be glad to answer those for you. The most important thing is, please stay safe and continue to be well. Thank you.